guys, my name is Jayesh. I am a fourth year engineering student from Delhi Technological University. No set recipe as such that okay you add half teaspoons of PORs and some of this and some of that and tada you got selected. First year in the college, second year college, right? So you still have time to build your profile. So they really helped me out, and this is the pro tip I want to give. Make good friends. In that anxiety of कि अब क्या करना है तो you search कि कहीं से कुछ मिल जाए, right? Some of my juniors who are watching it first year second years, यार बहुत time है, अभी काम करो, है ना? And try to gather as much experience as you can during this college life.
Oh, hi everyone, welcome to Placement Experience Journey brought to you by Upscale Talks. So, continuing ahead with the series, we have gotten one of the big firms, big firms here. We have gotten someone from Bain, a Bain Capability Network, or Bain and Company, we can call that. So, for today's session, we have gotten Jayesh. So, Jayesh is currently placed at Bain Capability Network. So, hi Jayesh, how are you? Can you just brief us about yourself?
Yeah, hi Archit and hi everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me over. Hi guys, my name is Jayesh. I am a fourth year engineering student from Delhi Technological University. About me, I have been part of many societies, tech teams, theatre groups, student association. I am also part of Literature and Film Council of DTU that is responsible for organizing one of the largest youth-led literature festival in India. So you guys should check it out. Apart from that, yes, I got an offer from BCN and I'll be joining the firm this coming June. Yeah, so that's about me. Should I also go forward with telling about my strengths and weaknesses, or would that be sufficient?
No, Jayesh, we are not here to discuss that. Okay, for sure, I think we can now move to the next part of our presentation. So Jayesh, now can you just brief us about Bain and Company? What actually is its expertise, and how actually it functions? I guess you are in a better position to explain us now that.
Yeah, sure, Archit. I'm pretty sure that like many of the students who have clicked on this video to watch this must have a decent idea also about the firm. But for all of those who don't know or don't have any idea about Bain is a management consulting firm. So it is one of the best players in the market. It is actually one of the top 3 firms around the globe. So alongside McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, and Bain, these form the famous acronym, if I may, MBB. Okay, so what sets apart Bain is the huge client base, which consists of many of the Fortune 500 CEOs and whatnot. So yeah, that's about Bain, and I guess we can do another video regarding Bain. But the viewers of this video would be more interested in about the process. So let's jump onto the process of how to get selected in Bain and Company.
Sure, Jayesh. So Jayesh, now can you just tell us about the Bain and the process, how actually, when the company got listed to the time you got the final selection, how was the process, what was going throughout your in your mind at that particular time? Because I believe, Bain is one of the first companies that visits the campus, and, everyone, me personally had a dream to be a part of Bain, but unfortunately I couldn't. So just share your experiences with us.
Alright, okay, Archit. So about the process. So like in this PPT which I have prepared, you can easily we can easily divide the whole process in major 4 steps. Okay, so this is what I gather from my peers which I've talked to in various campuses. This is the process which Bain follows in many of the universities as well, many of the universities and colleges as well. So DTU Bain follows this process. So let's talk about this. So the first step is CV shortlisting, and as the name suggests, it is as simple as that. You submit in your CVs, and the HRs look at it. Either you get selected or you get a mail about better luck next time. So that's about it. There are many things and to keep in mind while preparing your CV. So that it gets shortlisted. Obviously, there is no set recipe as such that okay, you add half teaspoons of PORs and some of this and some of that, and tada, you got selected. But yeah, still there are some things which you should keep in mind. There are some highs you should project in your CV to get shortlisted. We'll discuss it more in the preparation segment. Moving on, the next step was of aptitude round. So what happened in the aptitude round, I myself was not preparing for any competitive exams of the sorts of CAT, GMAT, or anything like that. I myself was preparing for UPSC. I'm still preparing for UPSC as a matter of fact. But what I gather from my peers is that the aptitude exam or aptitude round was of similar nature as of a CAT exam. So the questions consisted of quant, DILR, and case, what can I say,
Verbal,
paragraph, which you
verbal,
have,
verbal
yeah.
reasoning.
So, right, yeah, that one. So, anyway, so, but what can I say is that the aptitude round was more of calculation and mathematics intensive. So, if you're good with numbers and good with problem solving, it was a cakewalk. So yeah, that's about the aptitude round. So earlier I was very skeptical that whether I would be able to crack this or not, but luckily I did. Moving on, the third round was case workshop. It was a non-eliminatory round and it is one of a kind rounds in Bain. So not all firms do this round. So what happened was some of our colleagues from Bain came up to our campus, took a workshop of us, and basically tutored and mentored the students on how to perform in a case workshop and how to solve guesstimates and case studies. Obviously, we all were preparing about these for a long period of time, but still, it was a great experience and a learning opportunity for all of us to get a professional outlook on the process. So that was about it. The case workshop was, very interesting in all sorts of ways. It was a very interactive session. You get to meet people who are currently working in Bain. What approach do they take in real life cases and in the case studies as well? Because yeah, so that's what it is about. Moving on, there were two interview rounds. The first one was guesstimates. Another one was case study round. So both were really interesting. Both I took around an hour each in both the interviews. So yeah, another great point I want to add is that the interview rounds were mostly dependent on the COE preference which we filled. Okay, so the COE preferences were between the CV shortlisting round and the aptitude round. There was a registration sort of a thing in which Bain basically asked for our preferences among the COEs. So the firm hired for an analyst role, but they were divided among many COEs. So there were no set vacancies in COEs, but yeah, and this number keeps on varying. So sometimes it has for less number of COEs or sometimes more. But yeah, during our tenure, it was 11. There were 11 COEs which they were hiring for. Some of them are mentioned in the presentation as well. So it was just to give students an idea on how Bain functions and to take their opinion on what excites them more, which role they think they are more suitable in. Okay, so heads up, one should always pay attention in the pre-placement talks which is offered by Bain, because that gives you an idea about which particular CO you want yourself to working in. Okay, so yeah, and those COAs, sorry, what am I saying? Yeah, so the interviewers were depending upon what is the preference of your COE. So, for example, someone put consumer products and retail. So, there's a very high chance that interviewer would be from this particular COE. And another we don't know anything about.
So just to give a heads up, so COE essentially means Center of Expertise. I think Jayesh forgot to mention that. So yeah, Jayesh, you can continue on that.
Sorry, what?
You can continue with what you were telling.
No, I was done. That's a good point. COE is for all of those who don't know, Center of Expertise. So like, if for explanation purposes, you can say that there are various departments under which Bain functions. So they depending on the clients and everything, you are divided among many departments, teams. So those are called centers of expertise. So yeah.
Okay, so Jayesh, can we just move again back to the interview rounds that you were talking about? So you mentioned that one of the rounds were guesstimate rounds, another one was case study rounds. So can you just tell us what the interviewer wanted to check in those particular rounds? If you remember, you can just mention any question of guesstimate or case study that they asked you. So that would be much more helpful for our viewers.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I still remember my both the rounds very distinctively. In the guesstimates round, that was a very interesting round actually. So what happened was, if I tell this story to someone without any context, it seems very bizarre, because the question asked to me was, what is the revenue generated by IRCTC in a day from Rewari Junction platform? Okay, so it sounds very bizarre that how would I know what approach should I take or anything. But if you look it into a full picture, the thing is, I am from Rewari. So we had a little chat before the real question time started. With the interview, we had a little chat. So basic HR stuff, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What are your hobbies and everything? And that's where it came up that I am from Rewari. And yeah, that followed up the question about what is the IRCTC revenue from Rewari itself. So yeah, that was my question. And apart from that, the what should I?
Okay, so can you just tell us how, when you got this question about the revenue from Rewari Junction, how did you start to approach the problem? What were the first thoughts that came into my mind that यार ये करते हैं, सबसे पहले ये करते हैं, and how important it becomes to discuss what you're thinking with the interviewer?
Oh yeah, okay. So see, the thing was, first of all, like many of us, my whole preparation was very streamlined in the direction of कि we all kind of memorize these stuff. कि India की population ये है, Delhi का area ये है, and Delhi population is this. We will divide this in this segment, and so it was very kind of surprising for me that he'll ask me a question regarding Rewari's demographic. Luckily, I was more aware about my surroundings. I was aware about what is the demographics of my area. So that worked out great for me. Moving on, the approach which I took was like, first of all, I will not lie, I took a moment to just gather my thoughts, and I was very open to this about this to the interviewer as well. I took a moment to gather my thoughts, and then I came up with a solution that, first of all, there would be many revenue streams for IRCTC. Like you go into a railway station. This is an approach which I take up to for any question. So if you give me any question regarding any estimate, so I would imagine myself going there. So if it is about any marketplace, so I would just sit there and like imagine, if I would be in a marketplace, what will I see? So when it comes to IRCTC revenue, I imagine myself in a railway station. Okay, so what all you see? कोई तो वेंडर की दुकान होगी जहाँ पे चिप्स हैं, अब बाकी और ऐसी चीजें हो रही हैं. दूसरा कोई पोस्टर्स होंगे. तीसरा एक मेजर है टिकटिंग का जो रेवेन्यू है ये होगा. तो ये वाली सारी चीजें होती हैं. सो इन रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम्स को थोड़ा सा फॉर्मुलेट करा. मूविंग ऑन, जो टिकटिंग रेवेन्यू वाला सेगमेंट है वो एक मेजर चंक है. सो उसको और ज्यादा स्ट्रीमलाइन करने के लिए आई लुक्ड अप टू कि रेवाड़ी इज अ जंक्शन. सो देयर आर मेनी रूट्स. देयर इज नो वन सेट रूट दैट रेवाड़ी टू दिल्ली ट्रेन जा रही है. बहुत अलग अलग रूट्स पे बहुत ट्रेन जा रही है. सो ट्रेन भी अलग अलग सेगमेंट्स में बैठेंगी. Like some trains would be starting from Rewari, some trains would be terminating in Rewari, some trains would be like they would be in transit. So Rewari would be a middle station, right? So depending on the nature of train, the revenues are different. So yeah, that's an approach I took.
Okay. So that was great. You explained in detail how you approach the problem. So I think now it's a good time we discuss about your journey. So, Jayesh, can you just let our viewers know about your journey, how you started your preparation, as you previously mentioned that you were, somewhat focused on UPSC as well, and you're preparing for that now also. And also, what does that mean in the line that you have written, pro tip, make good friends?
Okay, so this is something which is, I really mean. Make good friends. Okay, so first of all, I shout out to two of my great friends. Like many of my friends and seniors helped me throughout this journey to getting placed at Bain. Like coming from a background of preparing for UPSC civil services and then ultimately getting placed at Bain. So many of my friends. So first of all, thank you all. But a special shout out to two of my friends. First one is Aditya Shekhar, and next is Dipanshu Verma. Both of them are fortunately mentors with us at Upscale talks as well, right? So guys, again, check them out. So they really helped me out, and this is the pro tip I want to give. make good friends. You also helped me. Okay, don't give me that look.
Okay, now we can come back and just talk about your journey, how you started preparing
Yeah.
and landing into Bain was one of the biggest, one of the biggest achievements of your life, I believe, till now.
Yeah, sure. So see, Archit, like I already mentioned, I came from Rewari. Okay, so it is a not a very big town, a big city. So I was always like, since I was a kid, I always wanted to look up to for more opportunities to learn something, to to outgrow myself. So when I came into college, I was very confused, like any one of us. I was not clear about, okay, this is what I want and this is what I want. So I just started exploring. And luckily, I got good guidance from my seniors and my friends that join as many societies, as many clubs as you can. Like, take part in things. Because that gives you some learning which cannot be gathered from any books or tutorials or anything like that. So, for instance, in my first year, I was completely immersed in theatre society of my college. I did theatre for full 1 year. I learned a lot of things from there. Apart from that, as I already mentioned, I have been part of more societies. I have ran for elections. Okay, I am the CR of my class. I have been CR of my class. I have been hostel in charge for my college. So I believe there was always a back in my thought that okay, ये कर लेता हूँ, मेरी सीवी पे अच्छा लगेगा. But this was never the main aim. And I request all of you, this should not be your aim कि बस ये करो तो मेरे को सीवी में अच्छा मिल जाएगा. Do what you like to do. Do what you enjoy to do. Because learning तो कहीं ना कहीं से मिल ही जाती है. I am sure you would also agree on it. Because if I thought in my first year that कि थिएटर करूंगा तो पेन में प्लेस हो जाऊंगा तो बहुत ही far fetched ड्रीम लगता. But that somewhere helped me in improving my communication skills, in improving my public speaking, in improving how I convey my ideas to others. So वो सारी काफी चीजें होती हैं. So one thing is that apart from that, about my preparation, if I go about my preparation as such, it all started about in July. Like I got placed in August first week. It all started in July. So before that, I was very confused and scared because you hear these stories कि वो जो बंदा है वो 6 महीने से तैयारी कर रहा है. वो जो पर्टिकुलर है उसने तो अभी अभी वहां पे इंटर्न करी है. सो आई वॉज वेरी स्कैर्ड कि यार हम तो अभी आए मार्केट में, हम कैसे करेंगे. बट दैट्स वेयर दिस टिप कम्स इन, मेक गुड फ्रेंड्स. सो द फ्रेंड्स मोटिवेटेड मी कि सब हो जाता है. ठीक है, आई टुक हेल्प, जो भी मेरे को सीखना था वो सब करा. एंड माई पर्सनल जर्नी वॉज द फर्स्ट 1 महीना रह रहा प्रिपरेशन में. तो यू डू नॉट हैव टाइम टू बिल्ड योर प्रोफाइल. वट एवर यू हैव इन हैंड उसको अच्छे से प्रोजेक्ट करना है. राइट, sorry, I had my skills, I had my PORs, I had my project, but I needed a way to present it in a way that HR will look into it and shortlist me. Otherwise it is not it is of no good use, right? So that was my first step. I looked up to my CV and it was just there. Okay, so I looked up to it, I edited it, I gave it a good font, a good design, how I should present it, better words. I took reviews from my seniors, some of the professionals who are from my family itself, working in corporate sector, took their reviews and worked on my CV. After that step was over, I looked up to the next step of interview round. So as we already mentioned, the next round is apti. But I was kind of sure कि apti तो मैं कर लूंगा, because some confidence was there कि apti हो जाना चाहिए. And but still, when I looked up to the questions, I thought that I need some brushing up on these skills. So I devoted 1 hour, half hour daily up to the step, like 1 hour daily for this apti round. Moving on, the main aim was guesstimates and case study. So practice and patience. That's all it was. I still remember the first mock guesstimate round which I gave to my friends. So the question they asked me was a very simple one. Like estimate the number of trees in DTU campus. And I took around an hour to solve this and come to a figure ki this is the number of trees. And that was for all of those who are preparing for guesstimates right now and have a fair idea of how you solve a guesstimate must know what I'm talking about. It is a very long time to solve such an easy question.
Exactly.
But patience and practice all paid off. And now, if you ask me how many ping pong balls can you fit in a Boeing 747, I may have a fair chance to coming up with a number. So yeah, that's about my preparation, and I guess I'll cover it more in detail in how you guys can prepare for it.
Sure, Jayesh. I think we can move to that part as well and give you the stage to just start telling about that.
How I went about my preparation and how you guys who are watching this video can go around their preparation. So this is what it is all about. So first of all, this is a strategy which I followed. You are a particular individual. Anyone watching this video is a particular individual. We all have our separate journeys. So this is not a set rule. You can modify it according to you. What I did was I looked up to the process objectively and then decided, okay, these are my weak spots, these are my strong spots, and then modified my strategy accordingly. So first of all, like the first step was CV shortlisting. So many of our viewers must be from first year or first year in their college, second year college, right? So you still have time to build your profile. You still have time to take part in societies, to get some PORs, to do some internship. But many of the students are as such, like they'll be watching this video 2 days prior to their registration, 5 days prior to their registration, because in that anxiety of कि अब क्या करना है, तो you search कि कहीं से कुछ मिल जाए, right? So if you are watching at that sort of time, so guys, it is not the time to build your profile. It is time to find a way ki how can you effectively present those skills, those profiles, so that you get shortlisted eventually, right? So because my preparation, as I already mentioned, like actively it began in June, July, but it was anyway going around from my first year because I was gathering experience doing internships and whatnot, right? So profile building is a must. Moving on, a handy skill set is always a benefit, always a plus point, right? So it can be according to your role, what you're looking forward, right? Moving on, I already mentioned this part, co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Now brushing up your apti, it is where it comes, like it becomes objective. Subjective. So this is where it becomes subjective, brushing up your apti. Some of you must be preparing for CAT, GMAT and other competitive exams also. So you don't need to specifically devote another segment कि अब मैं apti की तैयारी करूँगा interview level की. Because if you are doing apti एक side पे तो there is no need कि दो बार time लगाया जाए, right? So but हाँ, अगर कोई भी कहीं कोई background नहीं है apti का, so I would sincerely recommend कि brush up your skills. Because हम सबको लगा होता है कि 10th में NTSC दिया था तो वहां पे कर लिया था मैंने logical reasoning. बट गाइज हो चुके हैं उन बातों को 6 साल. सो ब्रश अप योर स्किल्स. एक बार थोड़ा कैलकुलेशन इंटेंसिव, और मे बी कुछ लोग मेरे जैसे भी होते हैं जिनको पजल सॉल्विंग में वैसे ही मजा आता है, तो अगेन देयर इज नो नीड कि दोबारा से उनको ब्रश अप करा जाए. अगेन दिस इज सब्जेक्टिव, जैसा आपका मन करे. मूविंग ऑन, प्रिपेयरिंग वेल फॉर एन इंटरव्यू, बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली दिस इज द टॉक व्हिच डिसाइड्स वेदर यू गेट सिलेक्टेड और नॉट, राइट? सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, get into habit of solving case studies and guesstimates. And when I say solving guesstimates and case studies, it's not just about getting at an answer. It is more about how you will interact with the interviewer during your interview while solving your question. Okay, and what my take on this whole case studies and guesstimates are that it is not about coming on to an answer. It is more about asking the right questions. So if you ask the right questions, you will ultimately come to an answer, and that would be right. Touch wood. Okay. Again, like there is no, I guess Archit would also agree that there are no right or wrong answers in case studies and guesstimates.
Exactly.
As long as you are going on the right approach, your answer would be correct. Okay. And again, guys, practice makes a man perfect. Listening it from आई डोंट नो, मेरे को तो बचपन से सुनने में आया है, practice makes a man perfect, and that holds true. And the final, like, what I want to give, the final message I want to give is be genuine. Like, gone are the days of fake it till you make it. अब नहीं चलता. Like, the interviewer who is sitting opposite to you is taking interviews since you were in 12th. So he knows what he's doing. He knows a candidate. So don't try to fake anything. If you have 2 internships, portray 2 internships. There are many students who come to me कि आता तो नहीं है but बोल देंगे उसको क्या पता चलता है. तो उसको पता चलता है. Because eventually he is a professional. उसका काम है वो करना. So yeah, be genuine, be yourself, and I guess that's about it. And we will discuss, I guess, more on case studies and guesstimates on our separate videos as well.
Okay, so thank you, Jayesh, for taking out time and joining in for this session and recording it for our viewers. So before we wrap this up, any last piece of advice you would like to give to the viewers watching this?
Okay, last piece of advice is, yeah, I guess I already gave it. Be genuine. But yeah, to some of my juniors who are watching it, first year, second years, यार बहुत time है, अभी काम करो, है ना? And try to gather as much experience as you can during this college life, because yeah, this is the time. And again, be genuine, work hard.
नौकरी सबकी लगती है, लग जाएगी. Okay.
नौकरी सबकी लग, वरना हम तो बैठे ही हैं गाइडेंस के लिए.
Okay, so thank you, Jayesh, for joining in, and thank you all for watching this video. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.